bracket program.
Hello there. Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. I'm Tommy, and welcome to the reveal live stream for the second annual March Madness Order 66 edition, presented by yours truly. Guys, welcome here. I'm super excited. The submissions are in. They have been counted, and I'm so stoked to show you all what the bracket's shaping up to be. And we're going to talk about the schedule today. We're going to see the bracket in full. We're going to go over every single clone out of the 64 clones that made the March Madness bracket this year. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. So we're going to aim for this stream to be about an hour and a half, and then it should take everybody right over to our friends over at the Shadow Nose Network for the Pixels Plastic and Ink show that starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But of course, guys, if we're gonna be talking about the bracket, we got to talk about the people that voted in the bracket. They're in chat right now, so let's say hellos here. We got Michelle and Lil Beastie coming in first here. Daughter are here for a great stream of you yapping. Yes, it's going to be hopefully a little bit of a longer stream this time, but like I said, we're going to be cutting it as soon as Pixels, Plastic, and Ink begins. We have Awful Risk Vader in here. Super looking forward to seeing what all of the votes amounted to. We got Tom Harris. What's going on? Hey guys, Clone Life here. What's going on? Shelf Life. Michael Galupo, the GOAT. Using that microphone you sent me, man. Really appreciate you. There's only one clone you voted for. I don't remember if I remember the clone that you voted for. Shelf says he wants Kano, Boomer, Draw, Stealth Pilot, Keely, and all. Maybe not all of them, but I think you'll be pretty happy with what came in. BSum75. Shout out BSum. I still got my Razor Crest you sent me right here. Shout out to BSum. Check out the review out on YouTube right now. I smell cloners. Clone Trooper! What's up, Skywalker Hendrix? Hey, what's going on? Avix, what's up? Welcome in. Mom, why am I a chud? Riley Bob in the chat, what's going on? Stoned Mando in the chat, what up? We got Darth Moocher. What's going on, Mooch? Thankfully, Lobot did not win this time, or I would have canceled the entire event. We got CT Batter in here. What's up, dude? Well, it's too late for submissions, but voting starts tomorrow, and everybody will get into the voting. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes here. Bolts, hashtag Clone Life, what up? We got Dr. Brantley. We got Alexander Storm from SKN. Once again, you'll see Alexander Storm in about an hour and a half here on Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. When this stream ends, it should take everybody right over there. And then we got Stargazer in the chat. We got Andrew. We got Gen X Brian, we got Douglas Gonk, and Alex, of course, sharing that he has been a Rancor Battalion channel member for 7 whole months now. 41st Elite Kashyyyk Trooper. Well, I think you'll be happy, man. Purge Troopers do not count for this event because they're Stormtroopers, by all means, even though they're in Clone Trooper armor. Darth Sidious. And, all right. Here we go, guys. Welcome in, welcome in. We're here. I'm really excited to be sharing this event. Like I said, last year, if you watched the kickoff stream from maybe a week ago, last year's event was put together very last minute. I think I started putting it together on March 3rd, and just like last year, this year we are executing Order 66 on March 6th. So I'm super excited. We're going to get into, I'm going to try and keep up with chat here, and we're going to keep going here. Let's see. Hey, we got Order 66 collections. Chet Maddox. What up? All right, guys. Here we go. Let's get in. I have this really cool slideshow put together. This was something that, because last year's event was so last minute, this wasn't something that I was able to put together. All right. Let's see. Is it working? Did you win, son? All right, so here we go. Let's get the slideshow up here. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is the March Madness Order 66 edition slideshow. So we're going to talk about, you would have seen maybe a couple hours ago, I made a post on the Blitz Transmissions, well, all the social media minus TikTok, about all of the submissions that you guys put in. So for the last 6 days, you guys were putting in submissions from all different media, whether it be canon, legends, comic books, video games, TV shows, movies, you name it. If it was a clone, you guys submitted it. So we're going to go over just a little bit of the polling data that I put together, made some slides into, and shared across all of the Blitz Transmissions social media. And so we're going to get right into it here. So this is the polling data for the March Madness Order 66 edition 2026. If you want to follow along, maybe on your phone or on a second screen or something, you could do that. Like I said, this is posted on all the Blitz Transmission social media, minus TikTok. So, starting things off here, guys, we have had a whopping 845 individual submissions across Patreon, Discord, YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And that is absolutely astounding. So last year, for reference, we had 610 submissions. So we have over 200 more, honestly closer to 250 additional submissions compared to last year. That is absolutely awesome. And, this is considered a fantastic sample size of, what clone troopers everybody submitted. Hey, there's the man himself. Thank you, sir. Congrats on 845. Thank you. Very, very excited. But, once again, guys, this is shared on all the Blitz Transmissions social media. So let's keep going here. We have 845 submissions, again, across the Blitz Transmissions Discord, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Of the 845 submissions from everybody, we have 217 unique clones that were submitted between different costumes for existing clones and new characters that have not been made in the Black Series yet as well. So this is also higher than last year. Last year, we had 163 unique clone submissions, and out of those 610 submissions from last year, this year we have 845 submissions, and we have about 1 in 4 submissions were a unique clone. So that is super, super cool. And again, really awesome. Hats off to the community for being very knowledgeable on one of my favorite parts of Star Wars, the Clone Troopers. So we're going to get into some of the specific statistics here of the media representation first, and then we'll get into trooper types and things like that. So of the 217 unique clone troopers that were submitted, so we have our grand total of 845, and then within that, we have 217 unique clone troopers. So within that, we have, again, percentages, numbers, and also shout out to my friend Courtney's Cantina on Instagram. Courtney will be helping me put together some graphs and things like that, some visual representations of all the data that you're going to see here. That'll probably get posted sometime this weekend. Huge shout out to Courtney's Cantina for their expertise with this here. So, very similarly to last year, the overwhelming majority of submissions came from the Clone Wars. So obviously, the Clone Wars is a very special show to me and to many other Star Wars fans. There's a whole generation of Star Wars mega fans that were created from the Clone Wars show. So it's no surprise to me that 130 of these 217, over half, are from the 2008 Clone Wars show. This does not include the 2003 micro series either. There's going to be a separate statistic for that. So about just shy of 60%, 59.9% of all of the 217 unique submissions came from the Clone Wars show. So that is super cool. And then next up here, our next largest demographic is the Bad Batch. So the Bad Batch we had, and honestly, this surprised me. I didn't think we had this many unique clone troopers from the Bad Batch. We had 21 unique clone troopers out of the 217 that were from the Bad Batch show. That's about just shy of 10% of our total submissions here. That's pretty cool. And then just tailing right behind them there is the prequel trilogy. Obviously, this is just Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. We had 18 different clones that were submitted from those two movies, and that is, again, just behind the Bad Batch here with 8.3%. Then we have from all video games. Last year, I did it as just the Star Wars Battlefront franchise, but I kind of condensed it into all video games here because we had a much more diverse spread of submissions from all different video games, both new and old, that have original clone trooper designs in them. So we had 9 different clone designs from video games, and that's about 4% of the total there. Moving on, we have the rest of the media representation tailing just behind the video games here with 8. We have clones that come from the 2003 Clone Wars micro series, and that's pretty cool too, because again, I should also add, all of these categories where we have all these clones, that's not even all of them. There are still unique clone troopers that didn't get submitted at all for this event. So that's really cool, really shows the diversity in how many clone troopers there are out there. So we had about 3.7%, 8 of the submissions out of the 217 were from 03 Clone Wars. I lumped in all the comic books and books together. There are some original clones from those. Those made up 7 of the 217, about 3.2%. And then finally, it was actually really cool to see a lot of submissions for Hasbro original designs. So back in like 2005, when Hasbro made like, I think it's the 5th Fleet Security, the Combat Engineer, all the different troop legions, a 442nd Siege Battalion, all different troop legions that Hasbro made up to sell toys. Those are still official designs that are considered canon in the Star Wars universe right now. So stuff from that. There were even clones from the live-action Disney Plus series, like the Hobo clone, Nax, from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Someone did submit him. Any other media, things like that, those are what make up those remaining 24, at just about 11% of the submissions here. Now, let me keep up with chat here because I have to pull up a very special chat. Shout out to the GOAT, 212 Hunter, for 50 gifted Blitz Transmissions channel memberships. That is absolutely absurd, dude. I really, really appreciate you. Let me go through and give a shout out to everybody that got a channel membership real quick. Quiet Ronin, I Paint Minifigs, Charlie Stew, Star Wars Sith 66. What's going on, brother? PPG Popeye Van. We got Peyton Chris, Leon Kennedy, Geek Fusion TV, Bring Toys to Work. I agree with that one. Syndicalist, I'm not even going to try and say that one. Austin Collins, Bottled Water, Rhino Hobbies, Smiley, Potato Tickler, OG, Drew Hanzo, I Like Scream and Ice Cream, Brock A. Lee, we have the Black Mandalore, Pokey 8786, Ramathale, Lukeness Monster, I saw you in the chat, what's going on, dude? Pax YouTube, we got Icy in here, Basil G, Kiwi Ben, Jacob Klein, Bob the Awesome Bob, Jeremy Wanger, John Morgan, Darth Trev, what's going on, Darth Trev? Primerian, Rhonda Gordon, Clone Wars Will, what's going on, dude? Brian Brink, Who Drank My Beer, Bro? Peak Obi-Wan, what's up? SBB, I could go on and on and on. There's so many people here, but thank you, Hunter, for the 50 gifted memberships. That is absolutely absurd. You are the man, dude. But yeah, here we go. Let's keep it up here. Let's just keep going with these stats so we don't get lost in the sauce here because we got a lot to talk about. So now we have the last part of the polling data. I will do a separate polling post about the clone troopers that made the bracket. I'll have a whole different set of statistics and data based on the 64 that made the bracket here. But now we have types of troopers. So of the 217 unique submissions here, again, I will note, all percentages are approximate. Out of those, there were 58 of them being ranked clone troopers. These are clones that are considered a captain or a sergeant, lieutenant, etc. Any sort of rank beyond just a named clone trooper at the private rank, those are considered in this lump here. And that's about 26% of the submissions here. So a good quarter of them are made up of ranked clone troopers. Now, what's really cool here is this next statistic. We have named clone troopers, not even including the ranked ones. So this number here, this whopping 93 clones of the 217 total here, this is a number of clone troopers that are just named clones. They don't have a rank, they're not commanders, nothing like that. And it's about 42%, almost half of the submissions here out of the 217 are named clone troopers. And then, of course, we have our troop builders here. There were 66 different troop builders that were named here in the 217 submissions. Those made up about just over 30%, almost 1/3 of the submissions. So super, super cool. Again, you can check out all of the data here, all the statistics over on all of the Blitz Transmissions social media, minus TikTok. Maybe I'll post it on TikTok later. But I would say we should get right into the 64 clones that made the bracket because I think that that's what everybody's here to see. Everybody's here to see if the clones they submitted made the bracket, because again, you guys, the community, determined the 64 clones that made this bracket. This is not influenced. This is not chosen. This is just, well, it is chosen. It's chosen by you guys, the community. This is not chosen by me or, friends of mine. All of these submissions were submitted by you guys, the community, you guys who are enthusiastic about clone troopers and have a passion for them like I do. Also, shout out Riley Bob for the 5-month channel membership. I appreciate you, dude. Thanks for supporting in the Rancor Battalion. So, let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time here. Let's check out what we've got here. So, we're going to get right into number 64 for the Blitz Transmissions March Madness bracket reveal. So, we're going to start at 64. I made a slide for every single one, and we're going to work our way down to the number 1 seed. They are in matchups on the bracket based on the seeding, and the seeding was based on popular vote by you guys, the community. So let's get right into it here. So number 64 is going to be Clone Lieutenant Thayer. So Lieutenant Thayer comes from the premiere episode of the Clone Wars animated show, where he is accompanied by clone troopers Jek and Reese, and they help Yoda out to go meet King Katunko to recruit Toydaria to the Republic instead of the Separatists. He has a really cool armor design here. We have a lot of this existing in the Black Series here, minus that helmet with the macro binoculars. We have all the parts needed for this guy, so I'd be really excited to see him show up in the line. Let me just say, I want every clone trooper out of these 64 to show up in the line, and I would buy every single one of them. But we got Darth Moocher here. I'd like to see brackets submitted by the community rather than chosen characters to choose from. Great job. Thank you, Mooch. Appreciate you. And we have Carbonites. What's up, Vincent? A channel member for 12 months. It's already been a year? That's nuts. That's nuts. Oh, and let me, before I do anything else, shout out to my lovely fiance for shooting me a text. Shout out Jen. I told her I wanted to make sure I got rid of the little watermark here for the March Madness logo so you guys can see the numbers. But yes, this is number 64. He just made the bracket. It is Clone Lieutenant Thayer. I had his 3 3/4 inch animated figure as a kid, and it was one of my favorites. Hey, everybody's showing off their channel membership milestones now. Stone Mandalorian Collector for 6 months, and B-Sum for 5 months. I appreciate all you guys for supporting the channel in such an above and beyond way. So, let's keep it going here. So we have Lieutenant Thayer. This was also, before I keep going, this was something that I didn't do last year. I just showed the bracket and read all the names off. And I know that I got some feedback last year. You guys wanted to see like visual representations of, what clones each name was in reference to. So, yeah. So let's keep it going here. Number 63 is going to be Clone Trooper Boyle in his Phase 2 armor look here. So let me also mention real quick, some images for these Clone Trooper icons are going to be a little bit low res compared to others. That's just because some of these clones only show up in like the background of a shot for like the briefest moment. And because it was, the late 2010 or the late 2000s, early 2010s when the Clone Wars came out, it's difficult to find high res images like it is now. And Michael Galupo, shout out for the 5 months here. Too many goats in the chat. I agree wholeheartedly. But yeah, we got Boyle in his Phase 2 look. This is from the episode. He's actually riding a 501st ATRT, which is a little funny to me. This is from that first episode in the arc where Anakin and Obi-Wan are dealing with the Zygerians, kidnapping all the Togrutas. So this is going to be a cool one. This and many other clones here are just straight repaints. You could just take the existing clone, you could take that clone Lieutenant Gale that we got last year, even though I'd prefer if he came with a swappable head instead of a removable helmet, and you could make these guys into new characters. And it's a character, people love this character, people love Boyle. Yeah, let's keep it going here. So we got Boyle in here, and next up, of course, if we're going to have Boyle, we need Waxer. So here's Waxer in his Phase 2 armor look. The only time we see him, other than when he dies, which is very sad, is this is before they go to Umbara, in the beginning of the Umbara 4-part episode arc here. So we had Boyle at number 63. We have Waxer at number 62. Obviously, these guys make a very dynamic duo, and to me, these guys are no-brainers. I mean, these, again, repaints, no new tooling necessary for these. I think they're no-brainers for the Black Series line. Moving on, number 61. Now, this one was one that I was never expecting to make the bracket, but I'm so happy that it did. This is Omega from the ending scene of season 3 of The Bad Batch, the end of the show. It's like a fast forward in time. Omega meets up with Old Man Hunter, and I was really excited to see this figure make it, or this character make it, and I think she would make a cool action figure too. Here's hoping that we see Omega a little more in future Star Wars projects. I think they've set her up nicely to be in future Star Wars projects. But still, a really cool character, and I think it really goes to show the cool submissions you guys came up with. You know, you have your obvious ones that I'm sure you'll see in the top 10 seeds that everybody wants, but to see a character like this, especially a character from newer Star Wars media, make the top 64 out of 217 characters, is pretty awesome. So, Omega out the way in her adult version, I have her marked as. We have number 60, the Clone Pilot. This is the Phase 2 Clone Pilot from the Clone Wars animated show. This would just be a straight repaint of the existing Clone Pilot Hawk figure that is in the Black Series, although of course I'm sure we would all prefer if the body sculpt was updated to the latest Clone Trooper body sculpt, but other than that, you have all the existing pieces for this character. This is just the basic troop builder version of that. I love this helmet design. I honestly, I prefer this over the Revenge of the Sith look for the Clone Pilots. I just love the angles of it. I think the shape of it's really cool, and there's lots of clones that have really, really unique pilot helmet paint on the tops of the domes there. So this is a really cool one here, just a great army builder, and I'm really happy that this one made the bracket. Moving on, number 59, we have Clone Trooper Buzz. Now, Clone Trooper Buzz is from the second Battle of Geonosis arc in the Clone Wars show, and I believe this is the one that gets taken away with Luminara when they're following Poggle the Lesser, and they end up meeting all the undead Geonosians and all that. Obviously, he meets a really bad demise in that episode, but still a really cool Clone Trooper design. Once again, just a straight repaint, just a really cool, unique paint scheme on this character, and this is one that I'm really happy that made the bracket. Again, very happy that very obscure Clone Troopers from the Clone Wars show made the bracket. There's going to be plenty of more of them throughout the rest of this here. Wasn't he in Toy Story 2? You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Yes, Buzz. Yeah, dude. And let's move on to number 59, or 58. Number 58 is the Flame Trooper. Speaking of the second Battle of Geonosis story arc here, the Flame Trooper is a great character design here. This guy is really cool because there's definitely reuse opportunity if they create the sculpt to make this character. This is the exact same armor design as the Cold Assault Clone Troopers that we saw in Season 1 of the Clone Wars, so there is plenty of reuse opportunity, and of course a new sculpt as well with that flamethrower. That could be given to one of the Elite Squad Troopers from the Bad Batch, and plenty of other clones. I think Fireball also uses a flamethrower in the Bad Batch Season 3, so lots of cool stuff you could do with this guy. This guy is another army builder, a great figure. I had his animated figure when I was a kid, and even though he had baby hands in the 3 3/4 line, I would love to see the Black Series knock out this awesome, awesome character design here. So, moving on, number 57, we have, now this is a horrible picture, but this is like the only picture you can find that's not a, promo shot with a transparent background of just the basic clone pilot from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This is the one that, Anakin's going to go help. Obi-Wan says, they know their job, we'll do ours. And then he blows up, like, immediately after. So, but this is just the basic Episode 3 pilot. You see these guys pilot V-Wings. You see them pilot ARC-170s, all kinds of different vehicles here. No, of course this is not a pre-recorded live. No. But you see this guy, pop up a lot. And he did show up, this character design does show up in the Clone Wars Season 6, I believe it is. But yeah. Yeah. It's, if they make him, I want his eyes angled that way. Give him swappable head, swappable head with the eyes looking off to the right. This is not Oddball, but Oddball may make the bracket much higher here, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, another great army builder. Cool to see pilots and specialized clone troopers getting in. Moving on to number 56, we have Commander Phil. Now, Commander Phil, named after Dave Filoni, is from the Grievous's Lair episode of Season 1 of the Clone Wars. This is the clone commander for Jedi Knight Nadar Veb. He meets a terrible demise at the hands of Gore, General Grievous's personal pet, in General Grievous's lair. He is a super cool clone design, though. I believe, looking at his paint scheme, he is a Coruscant Guard. But I could be totally wrong. There were a lot of clones in Season 1 of the Clone Wars that could have definitely passed as Coruscant Guards. They're all varying shades of red that are all really close to each other. But it's a really cool design. You could also get some new tooling on this guy with the helmet flashlights that are on the side there over the ear caps. That's something we see a lot in the animated Clone Wars series, and I think it would be cool to see him in there. So, yeah, Shelf Life excited about Phil, the GOAT, coming in for the bracket. Let's move on to number 55, that being one that I know Shelf Life will be very excited about, the Stealth Bomber Pilot. This is a really cool, really, really unique clone design. As far as I know, the only episode we see this guy in is in the Season 2 episode Cat and Mouse, where Anakin and Obi-Wan, or it's Anakin and Admiral Yularen, are in the stealth bomber over Christophsis. They're trying to beat the Separatist blockade, and they're fighting Admiral Trench. This is a great clone design. As far as I know, again, this is the only time we see it ever. And it's such a unique design. It's a great precursor to the TIE Fighter pilot, and I think this is a good opportunity, again, for some new tooling and really diversifying the silhouette of, what clone troopers exist in the Black Series here. So that's one thing I will say about this year's bracket, is this one really does a good job of diversifying the silhouette of what we see as far as clone trooper designs go. So again, a really cool one here. Season 2, Cat and Mouse. Love this Chad of a clone here. So we'll keep moving here. We're going to move on to seed number 54, the 501st Legion ARF Trooper. We see these guys most notably in the famous Umbara arc of the Clone Wars show. And obviously, this submission, I'm not going to include the vehicle with it. It's just going to be the Clone Trooper. So it's going to be the ARF Trooper here in the 501st. Hot Toys has done him. I don't see why Black Series can't do him. There are several Clone Troopers on the bracket that utilize the ARF Trooper helmet, and I think that's just a testament to there is a demand for the ARF Trooper to show up in the Black Series, because people don't just want one specific look. People want all kinds of different looks for these guys. So we'll keep it up here. We got number 53. This is Clone Trooper Boost in his Phase 2 armor look here. Boost is probably my favorite. I know Comet's helmet design is really, really cool, but Boost's helmet design is probably my favorite of the Wolfpack clones here. I just love that paint underneath the T-visor there. Once again, this is a Wolfpack Trooper. We just got a brand new Commander Wolf in the Black Series that I believe is we just pre-ordered maybe last month, is going to come out in a few months here. This would be a great trooper to accompany our new Commander Wolf in the Black Series. Again, just a straight repaint. We already have all the pieces for this guy. I would love to see him, a named clone trooper, in the Black Series line here. Let's keep moving. Number 52. Speaking of clone troopers they have all the pieces for, we have Commander Cody in his Imperial look from The Bad Batch. This is one of the best episodes of Season 2 of The Bad Batch, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the interactions that Cody had with Crosshair. Of course, we don't know what happened to Cody after he leaves and goes AWOL on Coruscant there, but hopefully we'll see him again in the near future. I have a hunch that we will. And again, this is just a straight repaint of the latest Commander Cody Black Series figure that came out last year. It's a very great figure, in my opinion. I love the new Commander Cody, and I would love to see him repainted in his gray Imperial look. So really happy that this guy made the bracket here. Number 51. This one is one that is new to the bracket this year. One that I didn't think would ever make the bracket, but it's a really cool clone. This is from a comic book run for the Clone Wars show. This is Clone Commander Ganch in his Phase 1 look. And I don't know if it was Sideshow then or if it was Hot Toys yet, but back in the day there was a 12-inch figure, I believe it was still Sideshow, that made a Commander Ganch with both his Phase 1 and Phase 2 looks. What I love about this guy, you can see he's got his DC-17 holsters on the chest, and they're like cross-draw. Really, really cool design here, and he's got that nice, bright, vibrant red. Super cool character, very cool comic book character, and it's cool to see. I think this really shows, just how fanatical Clone Trooper fans are. There's people in the chat don't even know who this guy is, and you can't really consider yourself a cloner if you don't know who this guy. Yeah, Shelf's excited. I know Shelf's excited here. And Bly coming in here. I made a few Ganch pauldrons for 501st members. Cool clone design indeed. I want a red one. Super cool. But yeah, his Phase 2 design also had votes but didn't make the bracket. But super cool to see a very unique, very niche clone trooper make the bracket this year. We'll move on to seed number 50, and that is another troop builder. It is the ARF Trooper in the Phase 1 look. Now, before you guys say anything, I know that this particular shot is technically ARF Trooper Stack from the Innocence of Ryloth, or is it? No, it's not Innocence of Ryloth. One of Liberation of Ryloth, whatever the episode's called, with Mace Windu. I know that this is technically a named clone, but you do me one and try to find a promo shot or official image of just a basic army builder ARF Trooper. I'll wait. If you guys can send me one, let me know. But I scoured the internet looking for just an army builder ARF Trooper, and this was the closest that I could find. Once again, this is just a straight repaint of the Clone Trooper body, a reuse, I should say, and a new helmet. This is another example of an army builder here now that you could get with the ARF Trooper helmet. If Hasbro were to go out of their way to sculpt one, you now have one that you'd put the little mud flaps on for the 501st version, and now you have the Phase 1 version as well for an army builder, just a basic army builder. These were one of the coolest clones ever. I had two of them in the animated Clone Wars line back in the day when I was a kid. They were really fun. So we'll move right along here. Number 49, a pick from the 03 Clone Wars. It is the ARC Trooper from the Munilus 10. However, it is specifically the quad gunner, the heavy quad gunner, which is really cool. So this guy is basically, his helmet is the AT-RT driver from Revenge of the Sith. He's got a rangefinder added on the helmet, though, and he's got this giant gun that slings over his shoulders. And I'm going to quote... Sith Lord 229 when he was talking about his most wanted characters for Black Series. I was on a stream with him. We did a Star Wars animation most wanted stream, and he called this. I love clone troopers and I love dudes with a big fuck off gun. So this is. This is a super cool one. Shout out to Sith Lord 229. He had me cracking up when he called this one. But yeah, this is super cool. We have a lot of the tooling for this guy already. We would get some new tooling with the shoulders and the helmet here, and that could be used for an AT-RT driver in Revenge of the Sith. The Quad Pay Gunner, the Klarna Gunner, the ARF Troopers. So those are actually Rancor Battalion ARF Troopers that are with Blitz in the Camino arc. There's so many clone troopers in the Clone Wars show. They did clone troopers like they were going out of style. But this is a super cool one. I was really happy to see some 2003 Clone Wars representation. Yeah, here we go. Let's keep it moving. Number 48. This is a really low-res image, but it's literally the only good one I could get of Clone Trooper Kix, specifically in his Phase 1 look. So this is a really cool one here. Again, just a basic repaint, but we see Kix first. This particular episode is where Captain Rex gets sniped by a commando droid, and Kix is one of the clones that's hanging out with Rex. I think this would be a great clone trooper. I kind of liked that really pale blue that they had in those earlier seasons of the Clone Wars before they went to that much darker, more vibrant color later on. But this is a cool clone trooper, a cool repaint, and you'll see a theme throughout this bracket. A big theme with this bracket is named clone troopers from the 08 Clone Wars. People have an attachment to these specific named clones, and people really enjoy these cool paint schemes on these armor designs here. Moving on to number 47. We're getting into yet another ARF Trooper helmet clone trooper. It is Clone Commander Trauma, and this guy has suffered some serious head trauma when he ran into Savage Opress. This is the guy that was leading the clone unit with Jedi Master Halsey, I think his name was, when Savage Opress gets dispatched on his first mission to take over a temple for the Separatists. This guy is a really, really unique armor paint scheme, and of course he's a clone commander with an ARF Trooper helmet. What's not to like? He's got a really, really cool two-toned paint job. His troopers look really cool, too. All of his troopers are ARF troopers as well, which is really cool. Again, giving you more opportunity for for ARF Trooper designs in the Black Series. We already have in the top 64 of this year's March Madness 3 different ARF Trooper uses here if you make an ARF Trooper sculpt. Let's move on to number 46. We have another troop builder here. This one just being a straight repaint. This is the 104th Battalion Wolfpack Trooper in the Phase 2 look here. This is the basic look for the troopers here. A lot of people get confused because I believe it's Sinker's Phase 2 look is literally this same design, but he has extra gray down by the chin filters. This guy does not. This is the basic Wolfpack Army builder here. This one to me is obvious. I think that this is one, especially again, we just recently got the new Phase 2 Commander Wolf on the newest clone body in the Black Series revealed. That's coming out soon. I think it'd be great to have a troop builder especially to accompany Wolf here. And in this very shot off to the right here, Wolf is in this shot walking around with these guys. So this is a great one here. Just Phase 2 clones, man. They have all the pieces to make these guys. It's just a repaint at this point. So hopefully we get this one sooner than later in the Black Series. Moving on to number 45. Now, this one's probably going to make some people mad. I'm accepting that. But this one did make the bracket. Now, you could make the argument, I could understand the argument of, we already have a Phase 1 clone commander, and wasn't that one of the stipulations of the voting phase of this, of the submission phase, that you would need to have a new clone trooper. It can't just be an existing design. And that's true, but this is a named clone trooper, so that's why I put him in there anyway. This is Commander Pons in his on Geonosis in Attack of the Clones. So I would love to see him come with the reflective visor as opposed to the straight with the vac metal visor. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Come on, Hasbro, get it together. P1 clone supremacy. Lots of P1 love on the bracket. You guys will see as we keep going. Yeah, give him a reflective silver visor. Exactly. And it would be cool to get the Phase 1 clone commander from Attack of the Clones on the new clone trooper body. That would be great as well, because I love that new Phase 1 clone trooper. It's great. And yeah, Brandon knows, dude. He's got that notebook. He's watching. Next up, number 44. Speaking of Phase 1 clone troopers we all love, it is Clone Trooper Denal. I know Shelf Life, you're pumping the air. Fist pumping the air, so am I, dude. I love Denal. He was my first love of Clone Wars, other than everybody loved Captain Rex, but my first love was Clone Trooper Denal. And he was absolutely amazing. Awful that Cad Bane took him out. And I would absolutely adore to have Denal in the Black Series once again. And you're going to hear me say this over and over again going through these top 64. This is just a straight repaint. There's nothing new needed. You just need a new paint job on this dude's helmet, and that's all you need. So I really hope we get Denal in the Black Series in the near future. Number 43. We have a clone that I know Robo Quiff Collects will be very happy to see made the bracket, especially pretty much in the middle of the pack here. We got Cut LaQuain from the Clone Wars here. So earlier I mentioned we had, Phase 1 kicks. We talked about him a little bit. Captain Rex gets sniped by commando droids. Well, he goes to a farm to heal up, and it's a deserter, Cut LaQuain. This is a cool clone trooper. Well, he's technically not a clone trooper, is he? He's a deserter, but he has a cool design, and I think he's a very pivotal character. Really helps to shape Captain Rex's character arc throughout the subsequent seasons of the show through a lot of the great conversations that they have over dinner in these episodes. So I would be all over this guy. I think he'd be a really cool, unique look, and again, really helping to diversify the silhouette of the clones that we have in the Black Series line here. And clearly, there's some sort of a demand for him, because out of 845 submissions and 217 unique clone troopers, this guy, Clone Quitter Cut, yeah, clearly this guy made the bracket, and he made it about middle of the pack, so there's clearly a desire for him. Number 42, going back to the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack is taking this bracket by storm this year. We have Clone Corporal Comet in his Phase 2 armor design. You can see the jetpack would be cool to add with this particular clone trooper. But he's a cool design, man. I'd be really down for Comet. Once again, just a straight repaint. Again, I'll reiterate it again. Would be great to accompany our new Phase 2 Commander Wolf and our new Clone Wars Plo Koon as well. That'd be a great one here. Not much else for me to say on this guy. I mean, he looks dope. I have the Hot Toys version that I'm waiting to open. Yeah, super cool clone trooper. I know this one, I was really happy to see him make the bracket. Number 41. Another clone trooper that literally is a straight repaint. We have a clone that a lot of people love to hate, and it's kind of crazy to me. He's made the bracket both last year and this year. It is Clone Trooper Dogma from the Umbara arc. This guy's kind of the dissenting opinion clone. He's kind of the good soldiers follow orders blueprint clone, and he is the guy who slimed out Pong Krell in the end here. But a super cool. I love his paint design. I love all the blue arrows that he's got going on here, and the red arrow right in front of the fin there. Just a cool design, and again, a very pivotal character for a very pivotal arc, and one of the most favorite arcs in the Clone Wars. Wow, Hellrunner, you better defend yourself. Blast throwing shade, man. Hellrunner clone. That's nuts. So with that, guys, we're going to move right on to seed number 40. Keeping with clones from the Umbara arc, we have Clone Trooper Kix in his Phase 2 appearance. This is not the only Clone Trooper that shows up in both his Phase 1 and Phase 2 looks on the bracket this year. Clone Trooper Kix showing up. This particular shot is from that same episode we saw Phase 2 Boyle in, but he is once again a Clone Trooper that we see several times in the Clone Wars. First in the Umbara arc, we see him in the Phase 1 look on Seleucami. We see him in Clone Wars Season 7 as well. So that's, a lot of different places we see this character, and obviously he ends up being the last clone in the comic run from the sequel trilogy era, where he teams up with Sidon and Thano. So cool to see that we got, I would say he's probably my favorite out of the Umbara clones. He's probably my favorite of the bunch. I always like the medic of the group. That's usually my go-to in video games too. I usually play as the medic. Moving on, number 39. It is Clone Captain Fordo in his Phase 2 look. Yeah, this is awesome. I always think of that awesome scene where he's punching and throwing things at super battle droids. I got my B2 on my desk here, one of my desk buddies. But yeah, just a really cool character. I would love to see how Hasbro does this character. Obviously, a lot of reuse, but I would also love to see what they do with the helmet. I honestly wouldn't be upset if they kind of kept true to the animated design a little bit, kind of took some creative liberty with it, or if they just went with the bark helmet, and it's something that we could use on other clones down the line. Be cool, man. And he's got a cool pauldron, cool shoulder sling pauldron. Lots to like on this guy here. So, he made the bracket at number 39. Let's keep it rolling here. Number 38. It is the forgotten clone commander of the Rancor Battalion. It is Arc Commander Hammer. A lot of people get this guy confused with Arc Commander Colt because they're both red, so it's totally understandable. But this guy is just a little bit different than Arc Commander Colt. Different enough that he is his own character design. Arc Commander Colt. This guy would be really cool to see in the Black Series. We have all the pieces to make this guy. However, if they continue to make ARC Troopers in the Black Series, this will be my blanket statement. Hasbro, please, can we update some of the now dated tooling on the ARC Trooper? Change the shoulder armor to give him the O-ring system, give him the updated arms so he has the bicep swivel, and can we detach the knee armor from the thigh plate and give it a free-floating piece there? That's all I really want on an update on these guys. Other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with the Black Series ARC Troopers, but this is one that I think is pretty cool that he made the bracket. But yeah, so let's keep it moving. We got number 37, and going back to the 03 Clone Wars, we have the Scuba Trooper. The Scuba Trooper fared pretty well in the March Madness bracket last year, made it pretty far in the running there, and he's a really cool character, a really very unique design. This one would require quite a bit of new tooling, but I think there's enough interest in it. Clearly, if it showed up 2 years in a row on the Order 66 March Madness bracket, I think this one definitely has some backing behind it. It's just a cool design. He's got a unique blaster. He's got that really big jetpack propeller feature on him. I would love to see this guy make the Black Series line. So, moving right along, number 36, we have Clone Trooper Boost. Once again, this is his look in Season 1 of the Clone Wars, outside of the Abrigado system, where him and Sinker and Plo Koon think they're all going to die, and Wolf there as well. And then they're saved by Little Soka. So this is a cool design. This was the original look for the Wolfpack Troopers. And honestly, I have no idea if this is Boost or Sinker. It's just they're both in the shot, and I picked the one that you could see more of. So, but I believe that this is Boost in this particular scene, although him and Sinker have identical looks in that episode. But yeah, again, another repaint. Again, we keep coming back to, we have all this tooling. let's get a repaint in here, get this guy in the Black Series, shall we? Number 35, speaking of straight repaints, we got Clone Trooper Draw. This is such a cool Clone Trooper design. I have his 3 3/4 animated figure. Such a cool one here. And he could come with a rocket launcher, which would, I don't believe we have this rocket launcher in the Black Series yet, but it'd be cool to get this with the rocket launcher here, the Clone Wars version. You can get a backpack. As you can see, he's wearing a little Republic backpack. That's another piece we don't have in the Black Series yet that would be really cool to get. Yeah, this guy, great little partner for Buzz here. Yes, and Avix coming in. Yes, the 375 figure, super cool. And there he is, Shelf Life coming in as well. Yep, I saw. I know you were asking about him in the beginning of the stream. I'm glad that he made the bracket. Number 34. We're keeping with the Battle of Geonosis here with the 212th Recon Division Trooper here. The 212th ARF Trooper, the 212th Recon Trooper, the whatever you guys want to call him. This is just the basic Army Builder version. Hey, look at that. That's the ARF Trooper helmet. Once again, we have so many instances just on this bracket in this top 64. I think there is lots of potential for reuse if Hasbro were to take the time to tool a nice ARF Trooper helmet. This is yet another Army Builder that I know people would eat up. People love anything from the Second Battle of Geonosis arc, myself included. I'd buy all 64 of these clones on this bracket, but this is one that I would be definitely excited for. So we have that one. We have number 33, keeping again with clones that literally have all the pieces for him, Commander Stone. Commander Stone is the Coruscant Guard clone commander that helps Jar Jar Binks free Obi-Wan and Anakin from Hondo Onaka's clutches on Florum in Season 1 of the Clone Wars. This is a really cool clone design. Again, I have a lot of personal attachment to this clone because I had his animated 375 figure back in the day. I would love to see him show up in the Black Series line with maybe Senator Jar Jar. That'd be a cool 2-pack, right? I would totally get Senator Jar Jar. Actually, I think a lot of people would get Senator Jar Jar with him. Commander Stoned? What? Yeah, that is his name, Commander Stone. But yeah, dude, get ready. We're only about the halfway point for this bracket, and there's a lot more good picks to see here. I have to get this one just because. I actually don't know what his 3 3/4 figure's going for nowadays. But all right, guys, we're gonna get into number 32. It's gonna get us halfway into the bracket. Keeping with the Coruscant Guard, we have Commander Fox in his Phase 1 look here, showing up first in the Clone Wars movie, and then he made several appearances before they transitioned to the Phase 2 armor, where we see him even more. This is a super cool clone design. This is straight up, again, all reuse except for the helmet. You just need a new helmet, which is just Phase 1 Commander Cody's helmet, and that's it. We have everything else. It's literally from the neck down. It's just the new Phase 1 Captain Rex figure that we have from the Ahsoka series. And I would be very satisfied with this guy. This is another one. I had his 3 3/4 figure back in the day. I think it was a Target exclusive. But yeah, super cool here. Another one from the Clone Wars. Number 31. Keep it theme, man. There's so many on here that I want, that I had as a kid in the animated Clone Wars line that I would love to make a return in the Black Series here. This is Clone Captain Locke. Now, this guy shows up in one episode. We don't even know if this guy dies or not. I think it's assumed that he perishes. But there's an episode where he's part of Horn Company, and their Jedi General is Eth Koth. And there's that one episode in the Clone Wars, I think it's Season 2, where the Separatists led by General Grievous are boarding this Republic frigate, and he is leading the defense of the clones here. So Captain Locke, this shows you how old the Clone Wars is now. He was a Kmart exclusive back in the day, and I had his action figure. I remember my dad coming home one day from work and just handing me this dude, and I was over the moon. Loved Captain Locke. Such a cool figure. Yes, I like to believe that Locke made it as well. I think you're making these up. I think they're all cooler than Lobot. How about that, Mooch? But let's keep it moving. We're going to get into number 30 here. Another Phase 1 clone officer here. It is, of course, he's in chat. We had to have him make the list. It would have been rigged if he didn't make the list. It's Commander Bly in his Phase 1 look. This one is, once again, another clone that is just, we have all the tooling except for the helmet. This one's really cool, too. I would love to see them do this one with both the flashlights on the ear caps and the macro binoculars as well. We definitely need clones with both of these attachments in the Black Series, but from the neck down, this is the Phase 1 Captain Rex that we have in the Black Series already from the Ahsoka series. So there he is, Bly, excited that he's in here. And Mooch says he would army build Bly. But yeah, I would be so ecstatic. There's so many Phase 1 clone commanders that just deserve to be made in here. Avix says, I just wish Hasbro did the Phase 1 animated helmet over the Phase 2 helmet. I love the look of the... Oh, see, my opinion, this might be a hot take, is that I think that the Phase 1 looks better in animation than live action, and I think the Phase 2 looks better in live action than animation. There, I said it. And B-Sum, it's rigged because Bly did make the list. I would agree. Let's break into the 20s here. You saw him in his Attack of the Clones look, but he made it on the bracket at a much higher spot in his Clone Wars look. It is Commander Pons, the commander of the 187th Battalion. He follows Mace Windu around until he gets totally just brutally slimed out by Aurra Sing in, I believe, Season 3 of the Clone Wars. I think it's Season 2 of the Clone Wars. He gets absolutely destroyed and then ejected out of the airlock of the Slave One into space with no helmet on after he gets executed by Aurra Sing. Such a cool clone trooper, though. Again, I had his action figure as a kid. He's super cool, and I would love to see him join the Black Series lineup. Hey, y'all! Palpatine's a clone. The basis for all the submissions here was as long as it was a Jango Fett genome clone, I accepted everything this year. That was last year. I made it like, it was only clone troopers. You'll see, especially with later picks, that I changed that a little bit. Dude, my heart sank as well. I remember I remember watching that episode with my dad, as we always did on Friday nights on Cartoon Network, and we just devastated when they took my boy out. Moving on to number 28. Speaking of dudes that gotten taken out in the Clone Wars brutally, it's Arc Commander Havoc, another one of the Rancor Battalion Arc Commanders. This one meets his demise when he's trying to let 99 know he needs to get out of the line of fire. Tells him this is no place for you, and he gets absolutely taken out. Once again, same thing as Arc Hammer. I don't really have much else to say other than he's a really cool clone trooper design. He could probably pass as a 501st trooper if you wanted to put him with all your 501st dudes. Feel that too, Bly. I felt the loss of every single clone. Made me sad, especially in the Citadel arc, dude. They did not pull any punches in the Citadel arc. I think that was Season 3, if I remember right. Yeah, because in Season 3 is about midway through there where they change the costumes for Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. But, yeah, this is a super cool clone. This one definitely needs made, in my opinion. And I hope that he shows up. Next up, another clone commander. We have a great last stand here. This is a real fan favorite for the clone troopers here. It is Commander Thorn, a famous last stand in the Clone Wars Season 6, the Lost Missions here. This guy has a really cool sequence on, I believe it's Scipio, right? Isn't it Scipio? Thorn, my beloved. He made it, and he's super cool. Once again, I think we have all the pieces to make this guy. We would just need a new helmet, new Phase 2 helmet here, and the Z6 rotary cannon. Come on, Hasbro. We need the Z6 in the Black Series line here. We needed that yesterday. But moving right along here, number 26, we have a theatrical clone here. It is the 212th Attack Battalion Airborne Trooper here. So really excited to see this guy. Hopefully we see him in the Black Series sooner than later. Hot Toys just did him maybe a year ago, and I think he definitely needs made. This is another one where we have pretty much all the pieces to make this guy, but we just need a new helmet, I believe, to make this guy. Unless that new Purge Trooper from the Jedi Survivor 2-pack, which is on the new clone body, is kind of going to be what they use. But other than that, this is another one. I had his Saga Collection figure. 30th anniversary figure as a kid, and I would love to get this guy. But let's keep moving here. We'll go on to number 25. We have Commander Gree in his Phase 1 appearance. He has a couple cool episodes in the first season of the Clone Wars, and then he totally just falls off the face of the earth. It'd be really cool to get him. He has a cool bandolier piece, but other than that, he's just a Phase 1 clone, so again, a straight repaint, and it would be really cool to see him there. Yes, in regards to the Airborne, this should have come out a decade ago. I agree. Lots of people in the chat talking about the Airborne in here. Moving right along, number 24. we have a comic book character. I know a lot of you guys that grew up with the Dark Horse comics like me are going to be very happy to see the big boy himself, Alpha 17, making his debut in the March Madness bracket for the second time in a row. He showed up last year. He's back for some revenge this year. We're going to see how far he makes it in the bracket this year here. So Alpha 17, a great character from the Dark Horse comic runs. Absolutely brutal. Basically just a Spartan clone trooper if you're a Halo fan. He's just Master Chief as a clone trooper. But yeah, really excited that this guy made it. And again, pretty high on the bracket here. The pauldron is silly. I agree, his pauldron is gigantic, but that was just the aesthetic of the early 2000s comics, man. Yeah, really cool character. Obviously, please, Hasbro, if you do this guy, put the new tooling into him. It will pay off. I want that blaster. I especially want his unique blaster as well. Moving right along, number 23, we have Captain Rex in his Cold Assault armor. We saw this in one episode of the Season 1 of the Clone Wars called Trespass, where they go to the moon of Pantora, and they run into the Tals, and there's that civil war, Captain Rex leading the charge. He had a 3 3/4 animated figure back in the day, which I had and adored. This is just, again, a straight repaint of if Hasbro were to do the Flame Trooper, or if they were to do this guy. These guys are the exact same sculpt. You would just repaint it, recolor it, make it the other one here. But this is another one that would be super cool. I would love to see Captain Rex in this, environment-specific armor here. Just such a cool and unique design, and a great homage to Ralph McQuarrie's design for the Snow Troopers as well. Actually, it is the planet of Orto Plutonia. Yes, it is, but it is a moon of Pantora, right? Is that I believe, if I recall right, it's a moon of Pantora, and that's why the racist Pantoran chairman is there. But let's move on to number 22. You guys were asking about him earlier. I know Michael Gallupo and Order 66 collections. You guys were asking about him earlier. It is Commander Oddball from Revenge of the Sith here. You know he's oddball because he has the 3 little yellow shapes, as you can see above his visor on the right side of his helmet. Pantora is the moon. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, this is a really cool design. Once again, if we get the Revenge of the Sith clone pilot, even though it's not my personal favorite design, you could still use some easy repaint and get you a clone Commander Oddball. And you can even see it appears to be Captain Jag behind him there. Captain Jag did not make the bracket, but there were people that wanted a Captain Jag. And we have, what's up, Obi Dad? Question, are there enough cloners for these to be mainline, or would these work better as made to order? I think there are more than enough cloners for probably every single one of these, minus maybe like Adult Omega to make a mainline figure. But that said, they're very heavy reuse, so unless it's a figure like this that would require a completely new tool, I think it should be kept to fan channel if it's mostly reuse, because I personally, I don't think that mainline slots should be taken up by repaint figures regardless, unless it's a big character. Made to order sets of 5. 100%. I think that would work for any of these. Moving on to number 21. We return to the Second Battle of Geonosis, not for the last time either. We have Clone Commander Jet, a very expensive and elusive figure from the animated 3 3/4 line. This is Ki-Adi-Mundi's Clone Commander on the Second Battle of Geonosis. Such a cool character. This helmet could be reused for special ops clones, both from the Stealth Bomber as well as the Geonosis specific ones. And from the neck down, once again, he's just Phase 1 Captain Rex. We already have all the parts for him in the Black Series. It would be really cool to see him show up in the Black Series line. Once again, based Sonic Trooper design. But yeah, another cool, very, very cool clone commander here. Jet. They call him the bad boy of the group. Glad this guy made the list. Yeah, me too, man. I'm glad he did really well last year, too. Number 20. Where's Moocher? Where's Bly? I know you guys are excited. 99 makes the cut at a whopping seed number 20 on the better half of the bracket here. This guy is really cool. Once again, a brand new tool, but I think anybody who watched the Clone Wars as a kid had tears in their eyes, and they were choking up when they saw this dude meet his demise. I watch that scene sometimes, and I still get emotional, man. A 99 is just such a... And Smoocher says, Unk Clone. Get us Unk Clone in the Black Series, Hasbro. I think we'd all love to see 99 make a debut in the Black Series line. Such a beloved character. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but man, what he had, he made it work, man, because he pulled our heartstrings back in the day. Yeah, lots of excitement for 99 here. And Bly dropping a 199 super chat with the 99. Real excited about him. I believe he also made it past round 1 of the bracket last year. So, moving right along. Number 19, Captain Vaughn. This is a character, I can't believe this guy isn't in the Black Series yet. This dude is, once again, pretty much... Here's Bly going again, another 199 for 99 here. 199 for 99. But yeah, we have Captain Vaughn here, just a straight repaint of Commander Cody for the most part. The Phase 2 Commander Cody, give him different shoulder armor, and for the most part, he is just a straight repaint of the GOAT. And I think it's pretty crazy that we don't have him in the Black Series yet. So I would love to see him show up in the Black Series. We have that new 332nd clone from that Ahsoka 2-pack that came out a couple years ago. Bly giving us a third one, 99 here. But yeah, this is one that I think definitely deserves to show up in the Black Series. All right, someone's going to have to go check on Bly here. I don't know if the donation button's broken or something, but it's 4 now. Moving on to number 18, we have, I hope you guys were hoping he was showing up, probably the most iconic of the ARC commanders for the Rancor Battalion. It is ARC Commander Colt. This is the one that gets stabbed by Asajj Ventress and then kissed. She emotes on him after she kills him. A very, very cool. Bly going in number 5 here. Absolutely insane. But yeah, here we have ARC Commander Colt, a really, really cool clone commander. And he is kind of the face of the Rancor Battalion, other than Blitz, of course. Other than Blitz. All right, guys, someone go check on Bly. This is number 6 now. 199. He's stuck. But yeah, Colt would be cool. Same thing I had to say about Hammer and Havoc, I have to say about Colt. Would be an awesome addition to the Black Series line. Number 17. Here's one. Now we're gonna really start getting into some heavy hitters here with these big ones here. Here's another one. 99. Dude, how many is this now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different super chats. Boy, you're nuts, man. We have the Phase 1 clone pilot from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This is, again, literally just so many of these on this bracket. It's so funny. The only new tooling required is a helmet. You just get a new helmet design for these guys, and it's just a Phase 1 clone trooper underneath. We already have the tooling for the clone trooper body. It's just a new helmet. So I'd be stoked to get a Phase 1 clone pilot out in the Black Series. TVC just got one with the Republic gunship HasLab. So here's hoping, fingers crossed, we can get a Phase 1 pilot to go with. Number 16, Sergeant Hound. Hot Toys just did this guy. I think that's kind of also helped to ramp up the desire for this character in the Black Series line. Once again, look at that helmet. Another ARF Trooper. Hey, it's Michael Galupo coming in. 199. Are we running a train? Super Chat Dono train? Only if you put 99, I guess. But yeah, Sergeant Hound. Obviously, I'd love for him to come with Grizzer, his Massif. But I did not include Grizzer as part of this submission because, again, this is just about the clones themselves. But I would like to think Hasbro would give us Grizzer if they did him as well here. And once again, Bly, 199 for 99. We got Bolt saying, yeah, with the doggy. And also, shout out to Mooch for the 199 super sticker. I appreciate you, brother. You're a real one. We're going to move right along, though. We're going to crack into the top 15 with Commander Doom. Did you know that Clone Commander Doom is based on the Marvel Doctor Doom design? Nobody knows that. It's a little known fact that only true cloners know. If you know, you know. But Commander Doom, just such a cool character. Once again, very close design to Commander Cody. The helmet is different. But again, we have lots of the pieces to make this guy. And he is one of the most visually striking and just rule of cool clone troopers there is. So I was really happy to see him make the bracket, especially at a whopping seed number 15. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. If you know, you know. Well, you know if you get that reference. Bank account going to look real sus with those 199 deposits. But moving on, we'll get into the number 14, we have Clone Commander Cody in his Phase 1 look. Cody shows up all the time in the Clone Wars here, and he has a lot of episodes where he is one of the main focuses in the first couple seasons, especially in his Phase 1 armored look. This is a really cool clone trooper design, and especially since we now have a Phase 1 Captain Rex that came out last year, I think it's imperative that we get a Phase 1 Commander Cody to accompany. Chet Maddox keeping up the 199 train here with the super sticker. Appreciate you, Chet. I'm trying to wrap up here before 10 here so we can get over to Pixels and Plastic and Ink. Top tier reference. Thank you, Austin. I'm glad someone got that. Moving on to number 13. Whoa, this is coming out of nowhere. Number 13 is Wolf from Star Wars Rebels. This will not be the only Rebels clone that made the bracket this year. I believe I omitted these guys last year from the bracket because I kept it to like prequel era clone troopers, but expanding it to clones in general. If they do Cody, they need to make a removable visor. I actually counted Cody without the visor as a separate submission, and there were several people that wanted that specific version of Cody with no visor on Teth. But yeah, lots of people excited for Old Man Wolf here. Yeah, Old Man Wolf made number 13 on the bracket. I would love to see them execute. Lots of new tooling on these guys. Obviously, they have completely different body shapes than they did when they were young and spry during the Clone Wars. But I think this is one that I would love. And Rebels is a severely underserved show in the Black Series line. I think Wolf is a must for the Black Series. Moving into number 12, we have a literal Captain Rex Phase 1 repaint. It is Captain Keeley. Let's make the end memorable with Jedi General Amagun Dai. These guys, leader of the Outer Rim Garrison. They meet a horrible demise on Ryloth. Also, Dad Bod clones for the win indeed, dude. Clones brought you here. Get Fig Fury out of here. Get this guy out of here. But Clone Captain Keeley, another very emotional moment in the Clone Wars show. Another one that left me choked up as a kid, and every now and again as an adult still leaves me a little emotional, a little teary-eyed when I watch their just them sacrificing everything for the sake of the Republic and saving the Twi'leks. And their sacrifice was not in vain, even though they themselves did not get to see it. Yes, never made in the Clone Wars line either, Brandon. This is a must. I agree. I also agree with number 11 being Phase 1 Clone Trooper Waxer. Is there also a Clone Captain Feely? I don't know that one. With a battle damage pulse. Ooh, that would be cool. Tesco Falco, what's going on, dude? Waxer Phase 1 making seed number 11 in the line here. Very, very. This is such an obvious one. Waxer and Boyle both. Their Phase 1 looks, man, were just incredibly high on this year's bracket. So much higher than they were last year. I think last year they barely even made the bracket, and it's crazy to think that both their Phase 1 and Phase 2 looks made the bracket this year. Such a great clone. Obviously, we all lost it when he passed away in the Umbara arc there. Oh, saw the clones, had to jump on. Brother, we're always talking clones on Blitz Transmissions. But yeah, number 11 here. Super cool character. Really, really want him to come out in the Black Series line here. But, oh, now I get your reference. Feely and Keeley from The Hobbit. Wow. It's funny, I read The Hobbit in a really long time. Top 10. Gregor from Rebels. Check it out, guys. We got Gregor here in his Rebels look. Unfortunately, he never wears a helmet, so he only ever has this crazy unhelmeted version. The only parts of his armor that he wears, if I remember right, are his right gauntlet and his belt. But this is, again, we have Wolf. We needed Gregor to show up on the bracket as well. So really, really hoping that these guys, again, they'd require a lot of new tooling. I understand that, but I feel like there's such a demand for these guys. If we get the 3 Rebels clones, we need the modified ATTE. Hey, dude, I say it all the time. 2028 HasLab ATTE for the Black Series. It's about 6 feet long. I would buy it. I know other people would too. Moving on. Single digits, number 9. Yeah, we're just going to skip this one. Number 8, we have Commander Neo from Revenge of the Sith. This is the last clone commander from Revenge of the Sith out of the major clone commanders from the Order 66 montage. that we need here. Commander Neo, again, brand new helmet. Other than that, and maybe the little pauldron piece, it would be cool to get Commander Neo out, especially with the Bark Speeder. But it'd be cool to get Neo in the line. And obviously, you guys are really hounding for this guy because he needs to show up, dude. He needs to show up, and we can complete our main line of notable Clone Trooper commanders from Revenge of the Sith. So I'd really love to see Commander Neo make the line. Number 7, we saw Waxer a couple spots down. Funnily enough, Boyle had a few more submissions in his Phase 1 look than Waxer did. Very, very cool. You can see the Ghost Company logo on the left side of his helmet there. Isn't P2 Wolf's helmet? Yes, it's similar. Very, very close. The shape of the visor is different, and I think maybe some with the chin filters is different as well, but very, very close. Clone Trooper Cries, underrated 212th clone. Yes, the dude with the mustard hair, with the worst clone haircut ever. But yeah, Boyle. Very, very... my Veil Slop Neo is melting on my shelf as we speak. Does it still smell like the factory, man? But yeah, Boyle, number 7. Man, we need Boyle in the Black Series. We need Waxer and Boyle. Doom as a 2-pack. Give us Numa as a 3rd character with limited articulation. I'll take him, man. Moving on, number 6. Guys, you saw Wolf. You saw Gregor. You knew he was going to show up. Rex from Rebels, man. Completing our trio. All 3 of the clones from Rebels. Making the lineup for the bracket this year. Jen dropping in the chat. Gilf! But yeah, Old Man Rex would be so cool. Again, lots of new tooling for this guy. But yeah, I would love to see him. Love to see him join the Black Series lineup. To him, Wolf, Gregor, just do a 3-pack. Knock them all out. There it is. Be some saying, great minds think alike. Old clone 3-pack. And Fig, you're spitting, dude. Don't forget to hit that like button. Low T-Rex. That's wild. All right, we got to move on, guys. Let's move on. Breaking into the top 5. It's Clone Captain Gregor. Now, I hear people say all the time, this would be a deluxe because paint. This would be a deluxe. I want to see if they could achieve it or not. I want to see them do the digital camo. They do a really good job with the printing. They've been doing some figures with very, very intricate and very in-depth paint apps lately. I would love, love, love to see Clone Captain Gregor make the Black Series line. And please, guys, update the existing Clone Commando body. Please. That's what we all want to see. I know most people agree with me here. Gregor would be a solid figure. Yeah, I don't want this one to be a repaint. I want at least the legs. The legs are pretty limited in the articulation. I want those updated. I'm not too much of a stickler about the shoulder armor, to be honest, but yeah. Yeah, digital deco. And I think they could do it. Yeah. Give us new commandos in the Black Series, guys. Let's get into number 4. Clone Captain Hauser. From Ryloth, his appearance in Season 1. Retire the Ozempic commando body. Yeah, and I agree. Gregor would work on the existing sculpt here. But check it out. We got Zaddy here at number 4. We got Clone Captain Hauser from Ryloth. This is a clone. I can't believe he hasn't been made in the Black Series yet. For how many figures they did in the Black Series from the Bad Batch, and how many characters that they've done. They have all the parts to make this guy. I don't know how we don't have the most handsome clone ever to exist, Clone Captain Hauser. But yeah, this is one that's a no-brainer, and clearly the desire for this guy is very high for him to make number 4. Again, out of 217 unique clones, out of 845 submissions, this guy had a lot of submissions to make number 4. And yes, the teal look. Yeah. The teal look is cool too. Number 3, Clone Commander Mayday. I can't believe how high Mayday was on this year's submissions here. He did a really, really good job this year. He performed really well on the submissions here. I would love to see Clone Commander Mayday. Once again, this is one that would require quite a bit of new tooling. But, even with all the new tooling, I think that it would come out as an amazing figure. I do have, shout out to Commander Cook, I do have a custom of Commander Mayday, thanks to Commander Cook and his expert artistic work. But this is a figure that I would love to see in the Black Series made officially, you know, a proper Commander Mayday. I think it would be a super cool one. Now, guys, we're down to our final two. Number 2, the Galactic Marine from Revenge of the Sith. This guy was the number 1 seed for the March Madness Order 66 edition last year, and he also was the winner of March Madness Order 66 edition. How do we not have him yet? How do we not? We have Ki-Adi-Mundi. We have the Commander Bakara. This is the last guy needed to fill out the scene. I won't be shocked if he wins again, if he's a 2-time winner. But I'm actually surprised we don't have this guy in the Black Series yet. But yes, he did win the 2025 March Madness bracket. And again, I was completely unsurprised that he made number 2 here. Blink 3 times if the Marine is coming this year. I would be shocked if he doesn't come out before the end of the year. That's what I'll put. Number 1 Clone Commander Moocher. Let's go. Come on, dude. Yes, soft goods on the comma. I don't want the hard plastic, please. But yeah, this guy won last year. Again, I won't be surprised if he wins this year. But I honestly, I think he's got a pretty heavy contender here. Guys, our number 1 seed for the March Madness Order 66 edition is the Kashyyyk Trooper. Now, what's very interesting is these guys flip-flopped. So last year in 2025, the Kashyyyk Trooper was the number 2 seed, and the Galactic Marine was the number 1 seed. And these were the two that went head-to-head in the finals last year, and the Galactic Marine came out on top. I'll be interested to see if, because they switched seeds, and this guy is now seed number 1, if these two go head-to-head at the end again, you know, I'll be interested to see what happens with the Kashyyyk Trooper. I want this guy to win, I will say. This is one of the ones that I'm really rooting for to win the March Madness bracket this year. I really hope he does win. This is such a cool design. I had his 3 3/4 figure when I was a kid from, I think, the Saga collection, and it was such a cool figure. And yeah, I'm a sucker for camo. Lots of excitement for the camo. Also, Fig, what's going on? Yep. Everybody make sure, check out SKN as soon as this is over. We're just about to wrap up. But yeah, commonly mistaken for a Scout Trooper repaint. Yes, the helmet is a completely different shape. Lots of the armor is completely different as well. This is not an Imperial Scout Trooper, but it would require actually a lot of new tooling. But something that a lot of people don't know is that if you make one, you basically have half of the other. So if you have the legs made for either the Galactic Marine or the Kashyyyk Trooper, the legs are the same between the 2 CG models. So that wraps up the 64 clones that made the bracket. I think I've yapped long enough, guys. Let's show off the bracket for this year. Who's ready to see the Blitz Transmissions March Madness Order 66 edition bracket for 2026? Here it is. This is the bracket. As you can see, I have completely overhauled the bracket from last year to this year. I did some tweaks, made sure to change up the matchups, the boxes, so you can. It's a lot easier to read everything now. This is also this is a high-res PNG, which actually, let me share the PNG version so that we can just look at that. Let me see if you guys can see this. Perfect. Awesome. So this is the PNG version. We should be able to zoom in on this here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. What's up, Troy Wars here? What's going on? And Arc Trooper in the Patreon as well. Link in the description. But yeah, there you go. Your boy was number 1. And thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. But let's take a look at some of the matchups here, and then we'll get into the schedule, and then we'll close out. Okay, so here is the bracket. Oh, I'm on the wrong window. There we go. So this is the bracket for March Madness Order 66 edition here. So the matchups are going to be, we're going to do, you'll see it's broken into like 4 quadrants, right? So every day we'll do a quadrant. So literally, this starts tomorrow. There's going to be 8 matchups for you guys to vote on tomorrow. We'll talk about where to vote, how to do it, all that stuff. But moving in, here's the matchups for tomorrow. Kashyyyk Trooper versus Lieutenant Thayer. This is basically set up like in the seating how they would do an actual March Madness. Commander Fox versus Commander Stone. Pilot Phase 1 is going to go after the Phase 1 kicks. We got Sergeant Hound versus the Quad Gunner Arc Trooper here. And then tomorrow you'll also be able to vote on Blitz versus Phil, Alpha versus Dogma, Gree versus the Phase 2 kicks, and then Neo versus the Episode 3 pilot there. And then what we'll be doing after that is moving down to the second quadrant of the bracket. And here are the matchups here. We got Hauser versus Omega, Pawns from the Clone Wars versus Boost from Abrogado. We got 99 versus Pawns from Geonosis, from Attack of the Clones there. What Rebels Wolf, try saying that 5 times fast, versus Imperial Cody. We've got Captain Keeley versus Phase 2 Boost. We've got Commander Jet versus Denal. Arc Commander Havoc versus the Scuba Trooper from 03 Clone Wars. Captain Gregor versus the Phase 2 Clone Pilot. And then on the third day, he rose again, and we did even more voting, which will be in 2 days from now. The voting will be the Galactic Marine versus Phase 2 Boyle, Captain Locke versus the 212th Recon Trooper, Commander Colt versus Commander Trauma, Commander Doom versus the Phase 1 ARF Trooper, Gregor from Rebels versus the Stealth Bomber Pilot, Rex in his Cold Assault Armor versus Phase 2 Comet. This in super tiny text says 212th Attack Battalion Airborne Trooper versus Phase 2 Fordo. And then we have Phase 1 Boyle versus the Flame Trooper. And then on the fourth day of round 1, and again I'll show the schedule next, we have Mayday versus Phase 2 Waxer. We have Bly in the Phase 1 versus Draw. Captain Vaughn versus the Wolfpack Phase 2 Clone. And then we have the Phase 1 Commander Cody versus Phase 1 Commander Ganch. And then the final matchups here, if I can... What just happened? What is going on here? I have literally no idea what just happened there. Okay. Well, let me pull that up real quick here. I think I might have accidentally scrolled or something. That was weird. Technology, am I right? Troglodyte Tommy strikes again. You guys have heard of Caveman Cody on Stone Mando's channel, but you haven't heard of Troglodyte Tommy. All right, finally over here. Here we go. Phase 1 Waxer versus the 501st Legion ARF Trooper. Commander Oddball versus Cut LaQuain. Commander Thorn versus Hammer. And then Rebels Rex versus Buzz. And that is the Blitz Transmissions round 1 bracket here. So guys, don't head out just yet. We're going to finish things up here, and we're going to go right back to our slideshow. And we're going to talk about the last thing, which is the schedule. That's the last thing we have to talk about. So when is this all happening? I've mentioned it already. This thing kicks off tomorrow. So as you can see, here's the schedule. Both the schedule and the bracket are going to get posted to the Blitz Transmission social media late tonight. So when you guys wake up in the morning, in the mornings is when I'll post all of the matchups, and then you'll be able to, vote on all those. And that'll be how we run that. So, the bracket schedule. Here it is. Once again, this will be posted on social media. Today was the bracket reveal. Tomorrow will be round 1. Round 1 will go for 4 days. We'll have 8 matchups every single day for 4 days. Then on the 11th, which is Wednesday, we will reveal round 2 based on the winners of round 1. And then round 2 will last for 4 days. We'll have, I believe, 4 matchups every single day. Then we'll have round 3 on Monday, March 16th here. And then round 3 will run for 4 days. We'll have the quarterfinal reveal on Saturday, the 21st. Quarterfinals will run for 4 days. And then on the 26th, we'll have the semifinals. Semifinals run for 2 days. Sunday, March 29th, we do the finals reveal. Also, that'll be my sister's birthday. Happy early birthday, Addie. And then we have the finals will be on the 30th. The winner will be announced on March 31st. So it's going to be a very, very busy month on Blitz Transmissions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So how do you vote? It's going to be very simple, guys. It's not going to be like Black Series Most Wanted, which is, the Google form. You sign in, you submit your characters, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be YouTube polls on the Blitz Transmissions YouTube channel on the Posts tab. And I will post on all my social media every day as the polls drop. I'll share links so you guys will be able to check that out. But with that, guys, that about wraps it up. I think that's all I have for the Blitz Transmissions March Madness schedule here. That's pretty much all I have, guys. Does anybody have any questions? We have a couple minutes before we head out, and then again, you guys are going to get transferred over to Pixels, Plastic, and Ink over at the Shadow Nose Network. And hey, speaking of the Shadow Nose Network, amazing having you be the lead-in show for us tonight. Don't let this be the only time we need that Blitz Transmissions energy more on Fridays. I appreciate that. But if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments you guys want to make, I can answer them for the next couple minutes here. But I'm excited, guys. This bracket is great. This bracket has a really nice spread of characters. Lots of very highly desired, highly requested clone troopers to join the Black Series line. A lot of them have very minimal tooling, and there are several on here that just are straight up repaints of existing tooling we already have in the Black Series. So Tesco says, yes, would you like swappable faceplates for the Kashyyyk Scout Trooper? I wouldn't care one way or the other. I mean, obviously, more is always, an exciting thing, so I would never be upset. Bly coming in, why is March Madness? Why is Ernie? Why is Ernie? If you watch Starlight Digest on Wednesdays, you'll know. Why is Ernie? But yeah, guys, that's gonna about wrap it up. Again, I'll give it a couple more minutes if anybody has any questions for March Madness Order 66 edition this year. All the voting will be done on YouTube. It'll be very easy to vote. You should be able to swap your answer to if you accidentally click the wrong one, and it'll kick off tomorrow morning. So get ready. It's going to kick off bright and early tomorrow morning, all the voting. In the YouTube voting, will there be pictures by the names for some of us less informed? Yes, there will. So, for example, all of the nifty little icons that you guys got to see on the slideshow here, so all of these square icons I cleverly put together so that you guys would also be able to see the character name next to the character name on the poll. So these will be the images that you see for all of the different polls here. So all these different matchups, it'll be these square images you see. So you will have a kind of a visual as well for every single clone trooper that's going to be on the bracket here. So thank you for the question, Obi-Dad. I appreciate questions like that. Meeks! What's going on, Meeks? Saving this as an archive for customs. That'll be cool too, man. That'll be cool. All right, last call. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any concerns about March Madness? Do you have questions about how it works? Do you have questions about what's going to happen? My blanket answer to any of that will be everything will be posted on all the Blitz Transmissions social media. If you have questions after the stream, please join the Blitz Transmissions Discord. The links to all my social media, my Patreon, my Discord, my YouTube channel membership, everything is in the link linked in the description below. So if you want to check any of my stuff out, check out the links in the description below. What month does this all take place? Hang on, let me check. March. Takes place during the month of March. Everything is solid. Thank you, Tesco Falco. I'm very excited to run this event, especially because when I ran this event last year, I had maybe 500 subscribers. I think that was it. And now the channel is almost at 3,200 in just a year's time. So that's absolutely amazing. You guys made that happen. Very, very proud of this event, and I'm very excited that I had the prep time to put into it this year. As much fun as it was to put on last year, it was all very last minute. This is, most of my subs made it. LOL, appreciate you, man. This is going to be a fun month. Hell yeah, man. I'm really excited. How much do I need to bribe everyone to get? I think based on the seeding alone, I think that those Rebels clones are going to all make it pretty far in the bracket this year. And I should also mention before we go, this is also something that Hasbro is going to see. So Hasbro is going to pay attention to, just like they did last year. The results of this will be paid attention to by the Hasbro Star Wars team. So with that, guys, we have Pixels, Plastic, and Ink to catch. Well, you guys do. I have to go because I have to get ready for work. But that's going to be it. So make sure you go check out Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. Give those guys a hello from the Blitz Brigade over on the Shadow Nose Network. And with that, guys, I'm going to head out. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Thank you all for making Blitz Transmissions March Madness the exciting event that it is. Thanks for showing up, and thank you to everybody who gifted channel memberships and sent super chats and super stickers. Bly, I'm going to do a welfare check on you as soon as we're done here. But with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow morning for March Madness. And may the Force be with you.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick your target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit.